It's been a pretty massive program, and we've seen a big attendance over here. I think maybe about 40, 50 hotel chains are coming over here. And we also have about 12 international, stands. So the hotel industry and the tourism industry, they're quite close to each other. They're correlated, and they work together. And we've seen good response as such.
As SATTE 2026 drew to a close, it is clear that the new connections and partnerships forged at the exhibition will take the travel and tourism trade into the future, one that is advancing rapidly for this industry in India. India is the second biggest sourcing market for tourists to Malaysia. They now have a very ambitious plan from Malaysia to attract 35% more Indian visitors in 2026. In order to achieve this, they've launched a big campaign to draw in more visitors. Let's take a look at one of their events in New Delhi to see what their strategy is. As the tourism industry continues to boom in 2026, Malaysia is redefining its sector. Tourism Malaysia brought together travel trade partners, wedding planners, MICE operators, and media, all under one roof in New Delhi. The aim? To attract more Indian visitors under the Visit Malaysia Year 2026 campaign. Last year, Malaysia welcomed over 42 million international visitors, showing a 14.6% growth over the previous year. India accounted for over 1.6 million arrivals, reaffirming its rank as a dynamic, high-potential market.
India is one of our main tourist arrivals to Malaysia. So last year we received about 1.5 million visitors, Indian visitors to Malaysia, and that is largely because we have a visa-free policy right now. So we are hoping to attract more and more Indian tourists coming into Malaysia and explore Malaysia.
A panel discussion followed focusing on air connectivity, visa facilitation, and emerging segments such as weddings, luxury travel, and MICE. With over 240 weekly flights between India and Malaysia and continued visa-free entry for Indian nationals, accessibility remains one of Malaysia's strongest advantages.
I think for the Indian market, yes, they are still earlier when we came to the market. They still want to focus for the city, shopping, entertainment. So these three elements, again, the family, theme park, and so on, which is confined to our main cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and certain extent to Johor Bahru. And these are the three main cities where cater pre-COVID for the Indian audience. Because during that time, the Indian audience would like to travel in a family and in a group. So those group movement become lesser and lesser post-COVID. And we see more FIT group, FIT tourists traveling on the independently, and they wanted to explore the country. So this is a good opportunity for us as well to showcase the other orbit destinations in Malaysia. We do have more than 150 million years old of our national park. You know, we do have a camping sites, we have a fishing area, and you can adventure the jungle. You know, they have a proper tour guides, night tour, and so on.
What can you tell us about the upcoming UPI integration with Malaysia?
Yes, you know, in today's world, everyone wants to travel with cashless. You know, they doesn't want to carry cash, either have to change traveler's checks and so on. So in the case of UPI, I think there was some kind of collaborations, memorandum has been signed between both government, and it's just a matter of time whereby this can be materialized so that the payment can be done in their own currencies.
We've heard that when visitors from India come to Malaysia, they can take a road trip. They have access to using your vehicles and your roads without any international driving license.
The surprising part of it, the Indian driving license isn't acceptable. It's approved in Malaysia. You're laughing at it. It is part of it where you can drive. If you're not on the longer stay, so for the short stays, the Indian driving license is accepted for you to drive.
Traffic slows down as it's passing one market unlike any other in Asia. This is the iconic Ima Keitel, the women's market of Manipur. Let's step inside and take a look.
Ima Keitel, also known as the Mother's Market in Imphal, is regarded as the largest all-women market in Asia and is believed to be the only one of its kind in the world. Around 3,000 Imas, or mothers, run the stalls here. The market is divided into two main sections on either side of the road. On one side, vendors sell vegetables, seasonal fruits, fresh fish, rice, spices, and daily household groceries. On the other hand, shoppers find finely woven handloom textiles and shawls, as well as household tools and locally crafted items. What makes the market truly distinct is its rule. Men are not allowed to trade here. Male vendors and shopkeepers are barred. In fact, in 2018, the state government announced that legal action would be taken under the Manipur Municipalities Act 2004 if any male vendor was found selling goods in the market. This is and remains women's economic space. The origins of Ima Keitel are deeply tied to Manipur's social history. The market traces its beginnings to Lalap Kaba, an ancient bonded labor system under which Meitei men were required to serve compulsorily in the military and on civil projects. With men frequently away from home, women were left to manage households and livelihoods. Out of necessity, they developed a structured market system, one that gradually evolved into what is today known as Ima Keitel.
It's for all the communities. Market is not only for Meitei, only for Naga, only for Takul. It's for all the communities. That is, every community from each and every corner from every corner of Manipur bring their products to this market and they sell here.
Today, even as Manipur navigates ethnic tensions and social strain, vendors insist that the market continues to reflect unity. For them, identity takes a backseat to shared livelihood. For many, a stall here is not rented space, it is legacy.
Till here, they bring their local products here and we are living like families in this market.
Stories like hers are common. Vendors often say that this market has financed children's education, helping produce doctors, officers, and professionals across the state. However, the present reality is challenging. Vendors say that earlier, sections were clearly organized, with fish sellers grouped and dairy vendors in another area. Today, that system appears less structured. More importantly, business has slowed. Transport disruptions and highway blockades have raised logistics costs. Ima Keitel is not just rows of stalls, it is a centuries-old system, born out of necessity, sustained through resistance, and protected through solidarity. As Manipur seeks stability and healing, these 3,000 mothers continue to open their stalls every morning, preserving not just trade, but tradition, unity, and economic independence.
People gather in Russia to bid farewell to winter in a festive way. Let's see how they celebrate Maslenitsa in Moscow.
Hundreds of people gathered at the Gorky-Leninsky Museum Reserve near Moscow to celebrate Maslenitsa. This traditional festival marks the end of the freezing winter and the arrival of spring. Also known as Butter Week or Pancake Week, Maslenitsa is an Orthodox Christian tradition celebrated in Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine at the end of the winter season. This year's festivities ran from February 16 to 22 and drew thousands of visitors. The celebration featured equestrian performances, delicious historical pancakes, and a 5-story tall scarecrow, said to be the tallest Maslenitsa effigy in Russia.
In China, it's not called New Year, but Spring Festival. Maslenitsa for us is also a way of saying goodbye to winter and welcoming spring. So there's a connection, and this year they just happened to fall at the same time.
The festival also reflects the history and heritage of the country. Horsemen from a Russian Hussar cavalry school recreated traditional training and competitions, showcasing the culture's roots with equestrian sports.
We have a very interesting task to show history and connect it with Maslenitsa. That's why we have two teams. One way or another, we show how horsemen of that time were trained, and there's a connection between the competitions of the Grodno Hussars and the Noble Squadron. We are spring and we will conquer winter. What else can we do?
When we talk about Maslenitsa and pancakes, the main symbol of the sun can't go unmentioned. Several stalls served pancakes with cranberry, raspberry, and sea buckthorn jam, along with sour cream, honey, and caviar. People were seen wearing traditional attire, enjoying pancakes and caviar. For the native people of Russia, the festival is a medium to connect with their roots and celebrate their identity.
This is becoming a good tradition. We want to maintain our culture and remind people that this is our genes, our blood, our ancestry.
As the day drew to a close, the highlight of the festival took center stage. A bonfire was lit as the 17-meter-tall giant effigy, a complex structure built over weeks by several craftsmen, was set ablaze. The bonfire is a symbol of the end of a long, harsh winter and of welcoming the season of renewal. From horseback performances to the blaze of a giant bonfire, Maslenitsa provided a stage to celebrate the Russian culture and tradition. With delicious food and festive joy, Russia bid farewell to the cold season and welcomed spring with warmth.
That's all we have for you on the show in this week's episode of Wings, but we'll return next weekend with more travel content for you. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.